Hello, this is Mark from thewaybackmeditation.org, and the purpose of this video is to share with you some information that I've just channeled. Now, yesterday I sat down to channel some information and I got an entire article about a very important subject, and I was going to just put that on the website as a text article, but I thought it'd be really nice to actually read it to you. So a bit of a break from my usual videos where I channel at the same time as talking to you in the video. This one, the channeling was done beforehand, but I think it's really important to share this message in as many ways as possible. So I'm going to do this video. I'm also going to make it available as a podcast. But what I'm reading to you is the words that I have channeled in the last day. Have you ever thought that there's something fundamentally wrong with the world? Do you have a sense that things are not as they should be? You're right, something is very wrong. From a spiritual perspective, your life is one of many, and as you travel through each incarnation, you have the chance to learn life lessons in order to evolve your soul towards love. Over many lifetimes, your soul vibration can raise up, and you become more loving, kind, compassionate, and wise in the process. Of course, for any learning to happen, there needs to be free will and the chance to make mistakes. The duality of the world allows for this, since there is the potential for love and hate, light and dark, and for all opposites. When we make a mistake and act or think in a way that is not loving, then we grow in ego and become more selfish. So each life is about moving towards love and staying out of ego. But when we really pay attention to television, films, education, advertising, magazines, social media, sport, and so forth, then we notice that a lot of them are indoctrinating society with the message that you are only successful because of what you have, and your value is how others perceive you. We are being conditioned to unconsciously compete with each other in all aspects of life, driven to be richer, stronger, smarter, prettier, healthier, and so on. But this attitude is literally all about ego and could not be further from the truth or love. The truth is, you are amazing. You matter because you exist, and your worth has nothing to do with how much is in the bank or how fancy your clothes are. But over the last 60 years or so, there's been a massive proliferation of invasive technology, including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 4G, 5G, making media more accessible than ever. We are bombarded with questionable information, divisive advertising, and distracting entertainment. On big screens, in your home, in your pocket, on your wristwatch, even in your cars. And all of this can have an effect on you. Furthermore, many people are addicted to social media, which in addition to reducing privacy, has extended the reach of bullying from the playground into a 24/7 phenomena that can't be evaded. Finally, the self-esteem of lots of people is being ground down by photoshopped images and Instagram idealism. Some people are so indoctrinated into ego-driven desire that they pay their hard-earned money to buy the latest smartphones, voluntarily allowing this corrupting influence into their lives. So many people have forgotten to live for the experience, and instead now they live for the glory of seeing how many likes they can get on Facebook or how impressed their friends are by their photos. They're so busy taking photos that they're forgetting to make memories and be present in the moment. We apparently have more freedom, but we're always on call. We're being assaulted by a cocktail of electromagnetic radiation, watched by CCTV, and even tracked by our devices. Science is pushing the boundaries with nanotech and integration of technology into our bodies, which were never meant to be interfered with in this way. Medicine has evolved from healthy food and herbs to something toxic, which is making powerful companies a lot of money, while people who get sick are paid off to keep quiet. Yes, there is something very wrong. You are not a commodity, and you are not fodder for the pharma industry. Your government does not have the right to force chemicals or medicines into your body. You have the right to choose. Your body was created by nature, and the laws of nature were not written by mankind, and are far from being well understood. Mainstream science tells us that we are soulless animals evolved from a random accident, and yet quantum physicists are searching for the God particle. That one thing that is behind everything, that existed before time, when there was just one single thing everywhere. But isn't this one thing everywhere, that is the cause of everything, including creation itself, exactly what God, the source, unity, is? Some people turn to religion to try and find answers, but the wise amongst you may already understand that beliefs, words, and teachings belong to the mind, and the mind is always going to struggle to take you further than the never-ending search for answers. Truth is far simpler than that. It is about love. It is about God. Every moment provides an opportunity for you to think or act in a loving way, or in the opposite way, and thus life comes down to the simple question: are you moving more towards love, more into ego? As people spiritually awaken, even if they do not realize it, they are awakening to God. Not some man-made idea, but that which is eternal and has always been. Spirituality is the desire to let go of the little self, to discover that oneness which is God. When a person is motivated by ego, then they measure success in terms of accumulating wealth and perceived status, the appearance of their body, the attractiveness or desirability of their partner, their house, their car, their handbag, their outfit, and so on. Such an existence is rooted in fear and insecurity, because all these things can be taken away, stolen, broken, or lost. With ego, there can never be true happiness or contentment, because the only thing that feels like progress is to have more than others and more than you currently have. This is what advertising encourages, and why corporate media works so hard to make you feel inadequate and incomplete, so that your ego desires a better car, nicer clothes, a more expensive watch, a fancy holiday, in order to give you a momentary sense of being valued. The same is true in terms of relationships, having children and the like. If you're not successful in these aspects of life, then you may be wrongly marginalized by society. When a person is motivated by love, then their sense of value is internal and cannot be taken away. Wealth, relationships, and health can all be appreciated, but free from neediness and attachment, because love does not judge, and it is already complete. A person who is full of love could enjoy the company of a king or a peasant, and recognizing the beauty within each person in front of them, treat them as equals. After all, everything comes from the source, from God, and so everything is a bright and beautiful expression of God's creation. It is only those who are so entrenched in ego that they have dimmed their own light, becoming hateful, negative, judgmental, and disrespectful to others and to their environment, that are dark and ugly because they are no longer aligned with love. But at this time, there are many in positions of power who are led by their egos, and they have created a world in which countries burn, millions starve, animals suffer, natural science is ignored, and most of the wealth is in the pockets of a few. Something is very wrong. The world was not made wrong, it became wrong. Perhaps a few people who fell into ego and therefore craved more power and status deliberately made it wrong. Perhaps we were all just too asleep to notice it coming. The conspiracy theories and the historical analysis do not really matter. What matters is what you do next, what we all do next. In the beginning was God, unity, oneness, and from this came love and then light. This is the light that the most spiritual of people aspire to meditate on. Believe it or not, it is your potential to do so too. But you don't need to experience the light or even meditate to make a difference, because the answer is right there. It has always been there. It is love. It is God. Love is the energy that radiates from God, who is the cause of everything. Love is perfect harmony and balance, totally accepting, non-judgmental, and most importantly, real. Look at what happens when people go into ego. They become materialistic, unhappy, insecure, greedy, and selfish. Love is the cure to all of this, and love comes from God. The secret known to those who meditate on the light energy is that you cannot strive for the light. You have to sit in humility and allow the light to come into you. This is done by letting go, relaxing, and embracing love within you. We can all learn from this. The secret to living a life of love and escaping from ego and the harm it is doing to each of us and to society as a whole is to let go, relax, and have the intention to let God into our lives. This is not a belief. This is not a religion. It is something far purer than that. The same light shines on all people. It is not limited to a single group or location. The more you let love and God into your life, then the more true freedom you will find. A life of love has purpose and value, which is internal and can never be taken away from you. It engenders self-respect as well as respect for others and the planet. It brings joy because you are full and complete even when you have nothing, and so you can experience joy in the simplest of things. It completely changes your approach to work, relationships, and life. You seek work you enjoy, valuing quality of life and integrity over financial compensation for the time you will never get back. Relationships become about exploring love and openness, not conquest and dominance. But most profoundly, your life has real purpose. The pursuit of bringing God into your life is also the pursuit of developing your soul and seeking spiritual growth. These two things are life-enriching, and all progress along your soul journey or spiritual growth transcends your physical death and is carried into your next life. By contrast, there is nothing that your ego values that can stay with you into your next life or move you one step along your soul's journey. Your bank balance, credit score, stock portfolio, or how you look are irrelevant to your true value as a human being. Everything the ego values is transient and illusory. The ego builds sandcastles, and it is only a matter of time before the tide comes in for each of us. There is something wrong, but the good news is it can be fixed and you can make a difference, and doing so is your own reward. Remember, this life is one of many that you will have. Your next life and the environment you will discover when you return will be determined by what you do in this life. The simple question is, do you want more love? There are a lot of things you could do, but how do you know what is the right thing to do and which direction to go? You need a compass, but with all the misinformation and deceit in the media, then it needs to be something a bit more trustworthy than a news report or a political broadcast. There is only one thing that is truth, and it is God, because only the source of love can lead you back to more love. Seeking one is seeking both. Make God your compass. Earlier I mentioned about the laws of nature. Well, have you heard about the law of nature? That what you think about and intend leads to what you allow and manifest in your life. This is why advertising agencies, governments and organisations go to great lengths to psychologically influence you. They understand that if they put ideas into your mind, then they can manipulate your life. Well, it is time to take back control. Clear your mind and set your intentions. I welcome God into my life, and I want more love in my life. This is also an opportunity for you to become more responsible too. Switch off your mobile phone when you can. Break free from the expectation that others have the right to interrupt you when they want, because they do not. Let people leave a message and you choose when you check your phone. Stop watching TV that promotes the qualities of ego like competition, greed, judgmentalism, jealousy, or worse still is just outright negative, aggressive or dark. Cut down on social media that is not nurturing your soul or filling you with love. Switch off your Wi-Fi, your deck phones, your Bluetooth, your 4G, your 5G and other sources of electromagnetic radiation when you don't need them. Take off those smartwatches and move those mobile phones far away from you. It's time to stop radiating your body and start respecting it more. These things are not natural. Eating healthier, cutting down on sugar and eating more fresh greens and some fruit, and also getting out to walk, run, swim and play, or even just to watch the sunset. These things are far more natural. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but start asking yourself, why do I need this? And is buying this thing or doing this action really a demonstration of love towards myself, towards others, and the planet? You'd be surprised how many people are discovering that the less they have, the richer their lives become. Some people call it the minimalist movement, but spiritual people have been doing this for millennia. Think back to simpler times, your fondest memories, the time you looked into the eyes of a person you loved, your best friend's laugh, your first trip away from home as a young adult, meeting new people and making new friends, laughing till it hurt, falling in love. Those moments when you felt most alive, which may be completely different for you, in those moments was your soul, your heart, and I hope that there was love too. And for some of you, if these moments have not yet revealed themselves, then perhaps it is a sign that something is not right in your life. In which case, now is a good time to change. Love is your right. It is the gift from God reaching out to you. Complete the circuit and reach out for God too. I've been there. I've been too embarrassed in the past to talk spiritually about God. Taught by well-intentioned but misguided mentors, as well as those who had their own agendas. I too chased wealth and success. I've worked for one of the biggest multinationals and I've run my own companies. I've had wealth and I've struggled too. I've owned more cars than I can count and a few motorbikes as well. I went from a terraced house to a semi-detached house to a detached house, and I found more unhappiness with every move. I've allowed myself to be bullied into pursuing other people's dreams, and I've resented myself for it. But I've also been blessed because I've been open to being spiritually guided. And having attained enlightenment in 2009, by 2015, the pieces of the puzzle started to fall into place. But it only began when I really started to bring love fully into my life. And in the last few years, that love opened the door to letting God back into my life. But this is not some born-again idealism or religion. But I cannot talk truthfully of the spiritual journey without talking of God, even if there will be those who, driven by their own ego, ridicule me. God is, and always has been, the cause of the spiritual journey and the source of love. And when one says they wish to attain enlightenment, it means to become that which is oneness, unity, the source, and therefore to recognize the existence of God. Something is very wrong. But before the problems existed, there was always God, and God is still there, even now. Perhaps these dark times might serve to help us see God's light more clearly. Some of us will have life plans that mean we experience wealth, others poverty. But now I hope you understand that it is what is in your heart and what is in your soul that matter and give you value, not your credit score or bank balance. Those who have God and therefore love within them are the richest of us all. Peace be with you.